Chosen one, listen to me carefully. Heaven wept when you wept. My heart is shattered, shattered by the agony you've been forced to endure. Did you hear me? Not disappointed, not concerned, shattered, because I see you. Right now, in this exact moment, the real you, the you that wakes at 3 a.m. with your pillow soaked in tears nobody else will ever see. The you that sits in church pews with a smile plastered across your face while something inside you is screaming, God, where are you? The you that whispers prayers through clenched teeth, wondering if anyone is actually listening. You've been the strong one, the dependable one, the one everyone leans on while you're collapsing on the inside. You've carried burdens so crushing they've bent your spine and broken your spirit. And you did it alone, didn't you? Because who would believe you if you told them? Who could possibly understand the weight of what you carry in secret? But here's what's about to wreck you. I see it, all of it. Every midnight breakdown, every silent scream in parking lots, every moment you begged heaven for relief and heard only silence. And today, right now, the God of all creation has a message that will shatter every lie you've believed about your suffering. Before we go 1 second further, I need to pause and say this. Thank you. Thank you to every single soul who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others drowning in darkness, others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your time, your attention, it all matters. Now, chosen one, if this is already piercing your spirit, if something deep inside you just stirred awake, don't you dare stay silent. Type these 3 words in the comments right now. I receive this. Because this isn't coincidence, this is your divine appointment. But here's the question burning in your chest, the one you've been too afraid to ask out loud. If God makes no mistakes, if every step of my journey was allowed by His sovereign hand, then why does His heart break for my pain? What does that even mean? And why are you hearing this now, at this exact specific moment in your life? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal in the next few moments will answer the question that's been torturing your soul. It will unlock the mystery of why you had to walk through fire, and it will prove beyond any shadow of doubt that your suffering was never, ever wasted. Don't scroll away. Don't let fear or doubt steal this moment. Your healing starts now. Heaven scheduled this just for you. Do you remember the last time you cried alone? Really alone? Not the tears that came during a movie or at a funeral where others could see, but those raw, soul-deep tears that fell in the darkness of your bedroom at 2:47 a.m. The tears you wiped away before anyone woke up. The tears you swallowed during Sunday service while everyone else was praising. The tears that soaked into your pillow night after night, carrying secrets too heavy for any human heart to hold. You thought nobody saw. You believed those moments of breaking were invisible, lost in the silence of your suffering. But chosen one, I need you to understand something that will shatter everything you thought you knew about your hidden pain. Every single tear was collected. The Bible declares in Psalm 56:8, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle." Not some tears, not the pretty tears shed in public, all tears. The messy ones, the angry ones, the hopeless ones you cried when you questioned if God even cared. Picture this. In heaven's treasury, there sits a crystal bottle with your name engraved upon it. And inside that bottle, every tear you've ever cried. The tear from when your marriage crumbled. The tear from when your child walked away. The tear from when the doctor said those words that changed everything. The tear from when you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the broken person staring back. Heaven's accountant missed nothing. Your tres sobs, recorded. Your silent screams during family gatherings when you had to pretend everything was fine, documented. The tears you cried in your car in the Walmart parking lot because you couldn't break down at home, bottled with love. You've buried friends, you've buried spouses, you've buried dreams that once made your heart sing. And through it all you've wondered, late at night when the house is quiet and the loneliness presses in like a weight on your chest, does God even remember me? He does. And here's where it gets earth-shattering. God doesn't collect your tears to remind you of your pain. He collects them because tears are seeds. Your pain is not wasted rain falling on barren ground. It is stored water for a future harvest that will astound you. Every drop of sorrow you've shed is about to become a river of testimony flowing to heal others. Every night you wept in solitude was preparation for the morning, when your voice will carry healing to thousands who thought they were drowning alone. If you believe, if something in your spirit is awakening right now, type the word tears in the comments, because God is turning them into testimonies. But there's something else about those hidden tears that will leave you breathless. Something about why God says his heart is shattered, not for making mistakes, but for watching you carry pain that was never meant to crush you. Stay with me, because what comes next will unlock the purpose behind every tear you've ever shed. Chosen one, let me take you back to that place. You know the one I'm talking about. That valley, the one where darkness swallowed you whole, where the walls pressed in so tight you couldn't breathe, where you walked, crawled through shadows so thick you forgot what sunlight felt like. You felt the cold stone of despair beneath your hands. You tasted the bitter ash of broken dreams, and you whispered into that crushing darkness, God, how long? This is Psalm 23:4 made flesh. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. But here's what the enemy whispered in your ear during those midnight hours. Listen carefully. He said, this valley is your life. This pain is your identity. This struggle is your eternal address. Lies, all lies. The devil wanted that valley to become your home. He wanted you to unpack your bags there, put down roots, hang pictures on the walls of your suffering, and call it permanent. But what if I told you something that will shatter every lie you've believed about your darkest season? The word is through. Though I walk through the valley, not in the valley, not stuck in the valley, not buried alive in the valley, through. Do you understand what that means? It means every step you took in that darkness was a step forward. Every tear that fell was washing away what didn't belong. Every night you couldn't sleep, God was performing surgery on your soul, removing the shallow, installing the eternal. That valley was never meant to be your address. It was a tunnel, not a tomb. A passage, not a prison. Listen to me now, that depression that felt like drowning. It was teaching you to breathe underwater. That betrayal that shattered your trust. It was showing you the difference between human love and God's love. That financial collapse that left you with nothing. It was stripping away false securities so you'd discover your true source. You thought you were dying, but you were being refined like gold in the furnace. The heat wasn't there to destroy you, it was there to purify you. And here's the miracle you've missed. Every valley you walked through gave you a language others don't speak. You can comfort the brokenhearted now because your heart was shattered and healed. You can speak hope to the hopeless because you found light in absolute darkness. Romans 8:28 didn't lie to you. All things work together for good to those who love God. All things, even the valley. Right now, I don't care where you are if you're in a valley at this very moment. I need you to declare with holy boldness, I'm passing through. Say it louder. Type it in the comments. I'm passing through. Because chosen one, you're not trapped. You're traveling. This isn't your destination, it's your transformation station. But there's something else. Something God placed in your hands while you were walking through hell. A secret weapon so powerful that when you finally see it, you'll understand why the enemy fought you so hard to keep you in that valley. Stay with me. What's coming next will blow your mind wide open. You know what breaks my heart even more than your suffering? It's that you've been suffering alone, believing deep in your bones that nobody, not even God himself, truly understands the crushing weight of your anguish. But I'm about to shatter that lie with 2 words that changed eternity. Jesus wept. John 11:35. The shortest verse in the Bible, yet it carries the weight of heaven itself. Picture this scene with me. Jesus is standing at Lazarus's tomb. His friend is dead. The sisters are devastated. The mourners are wailing. And Jesus, knowing with absolute divine certainty that resurrection is 60 seconds away, he weeps. Stop. Think about that. He knows the miracle is already in motion. He knows the ending before the story unfolds. He knows that in moments, death will bow and life will explode from that grave. So why does he cry? Because he feels before he fixes. Listen to me, chosen one. God does not rush past your sorrow to showcase his strength. He pauses deliberately, tenderly in your pain. He sits with you before he solves it. Think about a master surgeon. He could walk into the operating room and immediately start cutting, get straight to work, fix the problem. But the greatest surgeons? They sit with the patient first. They look into their eyes. They acknowledge the fear, the uncertainty, the absolute terror of what's about to happen. That's your God. He sees you lying on life's operating table, broken, bleeding, wondering if you'll survive. And before he performs the miracle you desperately need, he sits beside you, takes your hand, and weeps with you. Not because he's weak, because he's love. Your tears have never been invisible to heaven. Every 3 a.m. breakdown, every silent scream in hospital waiting rooms, every moment you whispered, "God, where are you?" while standing at a graveside or sitting alone in your kitchen, staring at an empty chair. He was there, weeping with you. But here's what will wreck you completely. He wasn't weeping because you were beyond help. He was weeping because he knew exactly what it would cost to heal you. He saw the cross, he felt the nails, he tasted the agony, and still he decided you were worth it. The God who holds galaxies in his palm collected every tear you cried. Psalm 56:8 says he keeps them in a bottle, not because he's cruel, because he's careful. Every drop of your sorrow has been measured, numbered, and remembered. And now, right now, he's about to turn that bottle of tears into an ocean of breakthrough. Do you feel that stirring in your chest? That's not coincidence, that's recognition. Your spirit knows this truth even when your mind struggles to believe it. I need you to do something. Whisper in the comments right now, "He wept with me," because someone else scrolling through darkness needs to see those words and know they're not drowning alone. You've carried this weight long enough, thinking God was distant, clinical, unmoved. But the truth is explosive. He's never been closer than when you were breaking. Which brings us to the question burning in your soul, the one you've been too afraid to ask. If God wept with me through every dark night, if he felt every ounce of my pain, then why didn't he stop it sooner? The answer will revolutionize everything you thought you knew about suffering. Chosen one, let's stop pretending for a moment. Stop the religious talk. Stop the Sunday morning smile. Because deep in the caverns of your heart, there's a question that won't go away. A question that haunts your 3 a.m. prayers and whispers doubt into your worship. If you love me, Lord, why did you let me go through it? Don't you dare feel guilty for asking. Even Jesus cried out from that cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Raw, desperate, human. You've watched others sail through life, while you've been shipwrecked again and again. You've seen the wicked prosper while you faithful, devoted, chosen, have been crushed under weights you never asked to carry. The betrayal that shattered your trust, the diagnosis that stole your peace, the loss that broke your heart into 1,000 unrepairable pieces. And through it all, you kept believing, kept praying, kept hoping. But why? Here's the answer that will revolutionize everything you thought you understood about divine love. God's love doesn't always prevent the fire, but it always provides purpose through it. Listen carefully. The goldsmith doesn't throw gold into the furnace because he hates it. He places it there because he sees the treasure hidden beneath the impurities. The fire isn't punishment. It's purification. Without the heat, there is no purity. Without the pressure, there is no diamond. Without the burial, there is no resurrection. You weren't abandoned in that furnace, beloved. You were being forged. Hebrews 12:11 declares, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." Your pain wasn't random. It was targeted, strategic, purposeful. That betrayal, it taught you discernment. That loss, it showed you what truly matters. That illness, it drove you into his arms when nothing else could. Every tear was an investment. Every sleepless night was preparation. Every broken moment was building something eternal inside you. You weren't being punished. You were being promoted. The very fire that should have consumed you became the furnace that refined you. And now, you carry something others don't. Authority, depth, unshakable faith forged in flames of suffering. When you speak comfort to the broken, it carries weight because you've been broken. When you offer hope to the hopeless, it burns bright because you found hope in absolute darkness. Your pain was preparation for your platform. Raise your hand right where you are if you've ever asked God why. Go ahead. Heaven honors honesty. God isn't offended by your questions. He's honored by your trust to keep asking them. Because here's what will wreck you completely. Your pain is not just a wound, it's a weapon. And what I'm about to show you next will prove that every flame, every scar, every tear, it was all forging the most powerful testimony hell has ever feared. Stay with me. Chosen one, stop right here. Because what I'm about to tell you will flip everything you thought you knew about your suffering upside down. Your pain is not just a wound. It's a weapon. Every scar carved into your soul by betrayal, abandonment, loss, and heartbreak, those aren't marks of defeat. They're engravings of authority. Heaven has been using your agony as ink in a divine pen, writing a testimony so powerful that when you finally speak it, even hell will tremble. Look at me. Do you think God wasted 1 second of your suffering? Do you believe for even a moment that those sleepless nights, those tears that soaked your pillow, those prayers you screamed into the darkness, do you think any of it was meaningless? The Bible declares in Revelation 12:11, "They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony." Did you catch that? By the word of their testimony, not by their perfection, not by their smooth path, by their testimony, which means by their scars, their struggles, their stories of survival. You want to know why the enemy fought you so hard? Because he saw what God was forging in the fire of your affliction. He saw the weapon being shaped. Every attack on your mind, every assault on your faith, every attempt to break you, that was hell trying to stop what you're becoming. But here you are, still breathing, still believing, still standing. And now, when you speak, when you tell someone drowning in despair that you survived the same storm, your words don't just comfort, they command. They carry the weight of someone who didn't just learn about God's faithfulness. You lived it, you proved it, you survived it. That's why when you pray for the brokenhearted, healing manifests faster. When you speak hope to the hopeless, faith ignites instantly. When you declare victory over impossible situations, mountains move because your voice carries the sound of someone who walked through hell and came out holding heaven's hand. Look at David, shepherd boy, forgotten, attacked by lions and bears before he ever faced Goliath. But those private battles in the wilderness became his public testimony of God's deliverance. Look at Joseph, betrayed by brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown into prison. But every pit became preparation for the palace. Every wound became wisdom that saved nations. Look at Job, lost everything, sat in ashes, scraped his sores with broken pottery. But when God restored him, his latter days were greater than his former, and his testimony echoed through eternity. Your scars are not shameful secrets. They're your credentials. That pain is your platform. That survival is your sermon. So stop apologizing for what you've been through. Stop hiding your wounds like they disqualify you. Those scars are proof you're dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Say this aloud right now. I don't care who's listening. Say it with fire. My testimony is my weapon. Say it again, louder. Because, chosen one, you didn't just survive for yourself. You survived to become the voice that calls others out of their graves. But there's something else about this weapon you carry, something about the weight it was forged to hold that will leave you breathless when you finally understand it. Chosen one, I need you to lean in close, because what I'm about to tell you will reframe every painful chapter of your story. You've been asking the wrong question. You've been crying out, God, why is this so heavy? When you should be asking, God, what glory are you preparing me to carry? Listen to me. In 2 Corinthians 4:17, Paul doesn't minimize your pain, he measures it. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Did you catch that word? Outweighs. Your suffering isn't meaningless weight crushing you into dust. It's glory weight being forged in the furnace of affliction. Every tear you've cried, every sleepless night, every moment you wanted to quit but didn't, it's all been building something eternal inside you. Something so magnificent that when heaven finally reveals it, your pain will seem light in comparison. But here's what breaks my heart. You think you're being buried alive. You feel the dirt of disappointment covering you, the soil of sorrow pressing down, the weight of wounded dreams suffocating your hope. And you're thinking, God, this is my grave. This is where my story ends. Stop. What looks like burial to human eyes is planting to divine eyes. Do you know what happens to a seed before it becomes a mighty oak? It gets buried in darkness, pressed down by soil. It sits in what looks like death for months. And if that seed could speak, it would cry, I'm being destroyed. But the farmer knows better. The farmer knows that what looks like burial is actually positioning. What feels like death is preparation for explosive life. Chosen one, you're not being buried, you're being planted. Every crushing disappointment pressed nutrients into your spiritual soil. Every dark season stretched your roots deeper into God's faithfulness. Every weight that tried to break you was actually building your capacity to hold the glory that's coming. The oak tree that weathers the fiercest storms grows the strongest roots. The diamond that shines brightest endured the greatest pressure. The wine that tastes richest was aged the longest. And you, beloved you, who have walked through fire and refused to bow, you're about to discover that your suffering wasn't your end. It was your beginning. The weight you've carried wasn't meant to crush your destiny. It was conditioning you to carry glory that would have destroyed a lesser soul. God doesn't give his deepest treasures to shallow vessels. He entrusts his greatest power to those who've been refined by pressure. You thought that pain was trying to kill your purpose, but heaven was using that pain to build your purpose. What you survived is about to become what you're celebrated for. Your breakdown is becoming your breakthrough. Your test is becoming your testimony. And when that glory erupts, when the full weight of what God has been building inside you finally manifests, everyone who watched you suffer will watch you soar. If you believe your suffering will bloom into glory, type the word glory right now, because something is shifting. Something is breaking open, and you're about to realize that every tear was a seed. And harvest season is here. Conclusion. Chosen one, as we reach the end of this sacred moment together, let me leave you with the truths that must echo in your heart long after these words fade. Remember this: God's sorrow over your pain is not weakness, it's the deepest expression of His love. When He says, "My heart is shattered by your agony," He's not apologizing for failure. He's revealing His heart. You were never walking alone. Even when the path felt impossibly dark, your suffering was not wasted. Every tear collected in heaven's bottle. Every sleepless night witnessed by angels. Every moment you chose to keep breathing. When giving up seemed easier, it was all building something eternal within you. You are not broken. You are being refined. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. And here, in this community of believers, you are surrounded by souls who understand your journey. We see your scars not as weakness, but as evidence of your strength. We honor your survival. We celebrate your perseverance. You belong here. But I want you to ask yourself one final question tonight. If God Himself has acknowledged your pain and promised that glory outweighs your grief, what will you do with this revelation? How will you step forward tomorrow, knowing that heaven has been weeping with you and preparing something beautiful from your brokenness? Let us pray together now, as one family, believing that God's healing power is moving even as we speak. Father God, I place my hands on every heart listening to these words right now. Touch them with your supernatural comfort. Where there is pain, bring healing. Where there is despair, ignite hope. Where there is exhaustion, pour out fresh strength. Lord, you see the one who's been carrying grief for months, thinking they'll never smile again. Breathe joy back into their spirit. You know the one who feels forgotten, overlooked, abandoned. Whisper to their soul, you are seen, you are loved, you are mine. God, take every tear they've cried and transform it into a river of purpose. Take every scar they bear and let it become a source of healing for others. Let them walk forward, knowing that their pain has prepared them for glory beyond imagination. Open